back in the studio. My name is Gina Bang, Director of Marketing here at Avanti Destinations. And today we're joined by Tim.
Yes, Tim from Volcanic Air in Rotorua.
And Tim, tell us a little bit about your company.
Well, our company, we're a long-established company, but recently we've partnered with Te Arawa, who have come on board as an investor in the business, which is really amazing. So we now have that iwi connection, which is fabulous, because we live in an area that is so historically and culturally important, not only to that region that we live in, but the whole of the North Island and New Zealand. So it's an amazing place.
It looks amazing, and from your photos and from your stories, it looks like you have the literal bird's eye view of the island.
Yeah, I mean, our region is blessed with a diversity of scenery that I don't think you'll find anywhere else in the world. You know, we've got volcanoes, the stunning lakes, beautiful national parks, and these geothermal reserves that when you fly over the top of them are just, you know, the most amazing things to see. They're vibrant, and it's the combination of that scenery that you can see within such a small I guess, time frame that makes the region really, really spectacular.
So for first-timers coming to New Zealand, many of them dream of going on a helicopter tour. What is that experience like?
You know, when you come to New Zealand to fly by helicopter, and we fly float planes as well, but we live in I guess, a geographically challenging landscape, and you can see a lot of things in a short space of time when you're flying that you would otherwise never see from the ground. So, you know, a prime example is Mount Tarawera, which is the centre of our world in many ways. Was the site of the largest eruption in New Zealand's living memory. Is 10 minutes flying from downtown Rotorua. To get there by ground is a long trip, and you've got to take a four-wheel drive hike up the track, which is exciting, but then you've got to climb to the top of the volcano as well. So, you know, it's a great way to get around and to cut distances.
And I'm sure you have your choice of landing spots. So do you find that you run into many ground tours or different people, like in helicopters up there?
You know, 90% of the time, in fact more than 90% of the time, when we go somewhere, we have the place to ourselves. That's a special thing about our part of the world. You know, I can fly people over the lakes, and you know, they're devoid of boats a lot of the time. When we land on Mount Tarawera, typically we have the summit of the volcano to ourselves. It just really is an experience that brings beautiful scenery, the culture, and that feeling of being remote all together in one experience.
I'm sure you've talked to many of your guests that have traveled with you and experienced the North Island with you. What are some of the things that they say to you after a day out there?
Many of them will rate it as their number one experience in New Zealand, because I think the expectation, particularly in the North Island, is in terms of the scenery, sometimes it's not promoted as well as it is in the South Island, where the alpine scenery is you know, forefront. But our scenery is phenomenal. It's so diverse, and you know, as I said before, you won't see that combination of scenery anywhere else in the world. And it's got a beautiful backstory to it with the culture, the history. You know, it's when you combine all of those elements together, it creates a really amazing experience.
Oh, that sounds lovely. There's so many bucket list destinations, and I'm sure, you know, people have their feelings about even the term bucket list. But I know that there's, of course, gorgeous scenery in New Zealand, fabulous culture, wonderful food. But I think it's just always the human connection that makes people really remember their vacation. So it's always the guides and the people that they meet along the way that really makes a destination special and unique.
Absolutely. I mean, it's the interaction with our team, our pilots who are your guides, is super important, and it's that human connection that makes the occasion special.
Yeah, well, I've really appreciated connecting with you today. It's been really a pleasure. And thank you so much for taking the time to visit us in Portland. Any last words for our audience today?
Well, thank you, and thank you for taking the time, and come and see us. I would bet the house on it that you'd love your time with us. So yeah, just come and visit. That's all I've got to say.
Well, thanks so much, Tim. It's been a pleasure, and hope to see everyone on our next studio guest.